Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4, the Great War Redux, with me, Alpha Pi Omega, and German Empire. So I rewatched the first episode and, first episodes are always hard. I don't know if you've ever thought of that, but being a Let's Player, the first episode is something where you get people excited, where you get them hooked, or where you send them on their way to someone else. And yeah, it's always hard for me. I'm trying my best to always pour as much information out there and show my style, show my thinking, and generally just explain what this series is gonna be about. And while I feel like it was a bit more chaotic than usually, I hope that I answered your questions like who we are, where we're going, and how we want to get there, most of all. And today we are going to embark on the journey. Now, as I mentioned, I went ahead and I distributed our units accordingly in between episodes. I've also united the Navy, and I've added all the important people to their respective positions. Now, the way the German army, or the army of the German Empire, worked in this era was that the basic block was the Army Corps. The Army Corps was usually created by 2 or more divisions, but I'm not aware of it ever having only 2 divisions. So I split them into 2 major armies. The first army will be located in the east. The second army is going to be located in the west. Now, when we start with the second army, it's constituting of the 4th Army Corps, 5th Army Corps, and 6th Army Corps. Each have 6 divisions. And when you look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 border regions. So each of the Army Corps is going to take 2 provinces or 2 areas, and they will put 3 divisions in each. That should be enough bulwark here to actually protect us from any attacks by the French. If it doesn't work, we can always distribute reinforcements or backup divisions behind them and rotate them in if necessary. We have to create an entirely new Army Corps that's going to lead the attack on Belgium eventually, but we don't really have enough troops for that. Now, as far as the first army goes, we got 3 Army Corps, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, which has 10 divisions each, and they are going to be located at this area. I actually calculated that we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, yeah. So we have enough units to cover this area with 2 divisions each, and we'll need to use an entire new Army Corps, which is going to be the 7th Army Corps, which is going to cover a bunch more, and then we'll need another one as a support for the border region in, the Austria-Hungary sphere of influence. Now, the worst thing that could happen for us is us actually breaching through over here and them losing Lemberg and retreating to the mountains, because fighting in the mountains is going to be a nightmare, and I don't really want to have them, capitulate before anything can actually happen. The 3rd army group that you can see here is the Schutztruppe, which are the colonial troops. We have Schutztruppe Afrika, which are located here, and we have the Schutztruppe Tsingtao, which is located here. So those are our units. We also have the Kaiserliche Marine, which is going to be consisting of all of our ships, and we're gonna start modernizing them, as I mentioned. Now, I don't know if we will have a chance to actually go out, but they're gonna patrol in this area, covering our coast, making sure that no land invasions happen, and we are going to try to sink the Russian Baltic Fleet as the first point of action. And then, once that happens, we can actually leave a smaller force here and try to embark out towards the channel. I don't think we'll have any chance to actually protect our colonies. Historically, Germany did quite well. Especially, I think there was a fleet around Tsingtao that did really well. But we'll look into that as the war is going to come on us, because, as I mentioned, I'm gonna look into that. So we've set the research, we've set the construction, we have everyone in place. Now the only question is, can we actually train some troops? We've got 25,000 rifles and 1,000 artillery pieces and some support equipment available. So we do have enough. Okay, this is the first one that's actually not having enough. So we could right off the bat train 13 divisions. I'm not gonna do that though. I'd like to keep a steady recruitment process, but we'll need to keep an eye on it and start modernizing our units as they're gonna come. So let's start by training 2 units every round. We're gonna take 29th of August. So that's June, July, August. So 3 months per division. So okay, that's fine. 3 months per division, but it takes 5 months to get enough equipment for one. That sounds reasonable. So with that said, let's unpause and go. I'm not sure about trade, if we need something here or not. So far so good, it seems. We'll have to start training our units, which is going to be a nightmare of its own, but I'm going to try to not do it right now. We're going to send the Navy though to drill, because we'll be able to get quite a lot of Navy experience right off the bat, and we're going to use it to modernize our fleet and to get some of those juicy doctrines. Okay, so you're already got, man. Artillery is going to be a huge mess here. I can already feel it in my bones. So getting you 1.49 per month. We'll see how it's gonna go. So Outpolitic is gonna give us 120 political power. I think we're gonna go a bit faster in this one. A place under the sun, Agadir crisis. Our attention is increased by 5. Fan Prussian militarism. OHL authority. So the Eastern expansion is the next one that's going to give us a huge bunch of political power. So quite frankly, Agadir crisis happened in 1911. So thinking about it this way, 11th of May. Let's go this 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, so 9 months. I think we could realistically go through this and be done. Insufficient resources. Okay, we're missing chromium. Is it because of the Navy? Yep, it is exactly because of the Navy. Okay, so who can deliver? Ottomans. Okay, I'm fine with that. Keep that coming. Which immediately means that we lost some factories. What can we do? But we need that sweet chromium for our units. So going Weltpolitik, Fan Prussian militarism, and then Austrian claims and an Eastern expansion would give us the much needed political power. But then this would have to wait. But we can't really go through there either way. Because the Middle Africa and the investments, same with the naval supremacy, they're all actually dependent on the Agadir crisis. So with that said, I think are fairly safe in going this way. I mean, I can take the Our Place Under the Sun at any point, but I don't think it's gonna help us in any, quick, measurable way. Oh, we already finished 3 cruisers. Cool. So let's attach them to our navy and send you drilling. Okay, you can see that the navy is really not consuming a lot of fuel here. We're consuming 46 per day. And with just 5 fuel, we're getting 180. So yeah, the game is really forgiving as far as fuel go. I don't know what it's gonna demand from us when we're gonna get the tanks and stuff like that, but for now it is really reasonable. And we are getting an unbelievable amount of daily Naval experience points for the Navy, so that's good. That is really good. Now let's look at the events and decisions here. This is another thing that's going to be really important for us. Worker conditions are going to be quite important. Promises of peace, well, I don't usually like those, and in this case I'm not going to be much happier about them, are a viable option here. We would lose a bit of weaker war support, but the weak stability would increase by 0.5. The issue that I have is not the war support, but the daily political power gain that's going to be lowered by 0.5 per day. Considering we're getting 0.69 per day, this is really not a viable option. Democratic raids and stuff like that are not going to help us much. Damn, this is really looking like improved worker conditions are our only option. Resource prospecting is great, but needs excavation 2 and 4, so that's not something we can think about even now. South Africa Act. South Africa has joined Canada, Australia and New Zealand as a more autonomous dominion of the United Kingdom. An Act of Parliament unified the Cape of Good Hope, Natal, Orange River Colony and Transvaal into the Union of South Africa, which was allotted the same quasi-independent state and set of privileges as the rest of the British Commonwealth. The Union is formed. Yep, South Africa, as you can see, it is over there, being all South African-like. We need to turn on automatic split off here. Priority is high, that's fine. And the game is already offering me upgrades. These dreadnoughts are going to take quite some time to get. This is also going to take some time to get, so let's speed it up. Tensions are at 0. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna happen for a long time. That we would see in the 0. Starting from, I think this year even. When was the first Balkan War? Was it that was also 1911, I think. Well, we'll see this jump up pretty soon. So we have the Norddeutscher Bund legacy. Ideology of defense plus 25%. Germany is indestructible and indivisible. The legacy of past years from many centuries to come determine the greatness of the German Empire. Plus 25% ideology drift defense. General Staff, we've seen this one. Planning speed, max planning, both increased by 10%. Land doctrine cost lowered by 10%. The Oberste Heeresleitung, which shows the highest echelon of command. Oh yeah, we read this one. But we also have the Naval Arms Race, which I don't think we had it there. Political power gain is lowered by 5% and so is stability, but dockyard output is increased by 25%, naval doctrine cost lowered by 10%, cruiser design cost lowered by 30%, heavy ship design cost by 50%, and light ship design cost by 10%. More dreadnoughts, bigger guns. Well, this is a callback to the arms race or naval arms race between German Empire and United Kingdom. Germany was very much aware that United Kingdom could blockade them on the sea anytime they would want, so they were investing heavily into their Kriegsmarine. No, Kaiserliche Marine. Kriegsmarine was during the 1930s and 40s, so I need to get used to the new nomenclature. Kaiserliche Marine. I'm starting to get some decent command power. So let's see, what can we give you? Franz von Hippel, our best admiral. You have an Ironside, which is amazing. I think safety first is good, because that's going to lower the chance to receive critical hit by 25%. Yeah, Crisis Magician is also good. Ground Pounder, Big Gun Expert would be good. Plus 15% capital ship attack is going to be good as well. So speed it up. I'm going to leave the units at their respective position right now, because that's another thing that we will need to address, the supply situation. The areas of supply are going to be a nightmare. We have pretty good railway system in and around Berlin, but these border regions, yeah, there's no supply hub here anywhere. So we'll have to probably build a supply hub here, connect this, or maybe build a port here, and we will also need something in here. Is this part of... no, that's part of our territory. Why is supply hub in Cleveland? Well, bottleneck Bristol, Cleveland. Okay, this last one doesn't have sufficient support. Same in here in Katowice. Yeah, you can see that in many places we have railway level 3. I'll definitely need to build the road to Saarbrücken. Oh god, they're transporting it like that. It would be better to go for these, but those railways are fairly poor. Man, the Western Front is okay. We have a lot of supply hubs there. The Eastern Front is way worse and will require way more investment from our side. Okay, so we get the Weltpolitik done. We must enforce our Kaiser's divine right to rule. He will lead us to glory. So let's fan Prussian militarism. It doesn't really give us any description for that. But at this point, we can get our first political advisor. Now, consumer goods factories minus 5%. I mentioned that's really important for our industry, and I stand by it. So even if it's just a little effect, we need to get that. Well, 3 factories, that's not bad at all. And I could go with promises of peace, but I don't think so. Chromium we still need, so that's fine. But we need to keep an eye on it. In case something happens, I'd like to have it done. Nope. These ones will be valuable when we get them, but not right now. Okay, what about the air? You guys need to drill. That is just a matter of life. First factory is going to be finished. Nice. It's 95% complete. Urban mobilization lowers the construction speed by 10%, but export focus increases it by 10%. Jesus. It's even so expensive. But hey, that's the way of life. That is the way of life. One thing that I wanted to mention also is that in the infantry tab, or is it in artillery? It's in artillery, okay. So after we pass the 1914 artillery, giving us some interesting toys to put on our tanks, we can get access to this new invention called mortar, which increases defense and breakthrough and soft attack of our units. Now, I'm not sure if this is just an equipment for a regular infantry unit, or if it's a new special attachment or something like that. But I like them. They seem very cheap compared to artillery, and they give decent stats, so that's gonna be fine. Japan-Korea Annexation Treaty. The Korean Empire, a protectorate of the Empire of Japan, since the Japanese victories on the Shinto-Japanese War and the Russian-Japanese War, has just signed a treaty with the Japanese government that resulted in full annexation. Though the Russian Empire and the United States of America are complaining about this measure, no official sanctions or no official actions have been taken against them yet. Oh, well, then no official sanctions either. It seems that Korea, a country with a long legacy, will go out with nothing more than a whimper. Oh well. Great Qing. I don't believe you're gonna be Great Qing for much longer. Oh, and we already have 4% tension. Actually 5%, 4.9. So it's good to see that there's nothing changing. Japan, Germany and others still causing problems. Okay, finished our first factory. That is great. Still building, that is good. Production is slightly increasing for some of our... Yeah, we're getting one piece of towed artillery per day. We have 5 howitzers available. So that's good. And we already have 76 Navy experience. Jesus. Jesus. It's insane. That is downright insane. Now let's look at the officer corps. We haven't investigated that at all yet. So those are fairly cheap. Cavalry attack, submarine attack. Division attrition lowered by 8% is something that we will definitely need, especially in World War 1. Artillery attack and defense is also good. Capital ship attack. Not bad. Furists give... Oh, actual doctrines. Okay, gotcha. Oh, okay, so we can get 15% to specialization or 10% generic. Comet sided. Our astronomers predict another approach to the Earth of Halley's Comet. Every 75 years, the celestial body marked the beginning of disasters and scared uneducated peasants. But modern society seeks to study this cosmic phenomenon, and modern observatories and cameras will allow you to make high-quality images. Amazing. Well, doctrines, we won't deal with doctrines right now. We have a huge cap. So let's let it run a bit and take it on a moment that's fortunate for us and not for our enemies. So is it a good time to start running? Is my question. Okay, got 2 more urban dreadnoughts. Still need the chromium. So start with you. The first army is going to drill. And we should see a decent boost in, oh, okay, 0.085 daily. I mean, it's better than nothing. That is every 12 days we get 1 experience point. Well, better than nothing. Are we getting any... No, we're not getting any bonuses from anything. Okay, you don't give anything either. You guys give, okay, so that's good to know. Gonna have to hire them as fast as we can, so that we can build up on their experience and the experience points that they are going to give us. Speed 4 is not something that I am very happy or confident with, but turns out for this it's going to be pretty good. Okay, so we got first divisions recruited. Erste und Zweite Garde-Division. So you guys joined the 7th Army Corps. I'll actually send you... Let's put you in Auckland as I did. Katowice and Katowice, we're gonna use those later. So 2 more units are recruiting. Yeah, we're managing to actually keep the infantry equipment fine, but it's dropping. It is already dropping. Okay, we could go with improved worker conditions. not now, because first of all, we need to get these guys. So, fast and stability would immediately give us a huge bonus to a number of things, like factory output, dockyard output. I think it would increase by 5% both. It would also increase political power gain and lower consumer goods factories, but we can't do that at this point. We need to do it later. So we found the Prussian militarism. Now let's go with support Austrian claims. The Austrians are our brothers. We will support their claim on Italian territories in Lombardy Veneto, as they are rightfully Austrian. So this is just gonna make Kingdom of Italy really mad, but that is fine by me. And here we go, we could start deploying the Landsturm divisions. So Landsturm divisions require 1000 infantry equipment to be had. They lower your base war support when you use them, and they deploy it deploys 5 Landsturm divisions, each having 9 infantry support coming. I think I can see them here somewhere. Yeah, Landsturm. So this is what we get if we deploy them. Now it is a militia, so their combat effectiveness is really bad. They need 910 infantry equipment, which is also not something that you find lying around. But yeah, I guess that's all there is to be said about it. We're not gonna do that. Provide reserve rifles, on the other hand, is not such a bad thing. For 50 political power, you can get 1500 Gewehr 88, which is the starting weapon that some of our units are still using, but it requires to have at most 10,000 infantry equipment. So, well, could be good, but I don't think that's something that we want to do right now. As with many things, that seems not great. Okay, and we gained a bit more army experience from the Prussian militarism, so that is good. God, these old trees are going to be a nightmare to navigate, to know what to take when, and when to wait. Ottoman Empire wants to purchase 3 dreadnoughts. In late 1909, we attaché. What? In late 1909, the attaché to us began a conversation with the Ottoman Navy about the possibility of selling our warships to Ottomans to counter Greek naval expansion. After lengthy negotiations, including Ottoman attempts to buy one or more of the new battlecruisers Von der Tann, Moltke, and Goeben, we offered to sell the 4 ships of the Brandenburg class at a cost of 10 million marks. Ottoman chose to buy Kurfürst Friedrich Wilhelm and Weissenberg, since they were the more advanced ship of the class. This is how we get a good ally. So we get 50 political power, and they get an event of German ships arrive, or we don't. No, that's how we do it, and we are going to immediately go and take. Where is he? Here. Production efficiency cap plus 5%, which will give us the ability to produce more of everything. Again, in this day and age, it's going to be super important. So instead of 20, we get a production efficiency cap of 25. You are going to give us additional 5, so that's gonna jump us to 30. And if we start working on concentrated industry, we're gonna get factory output plus 10% extra. So that's something that we really need to do. If you still don't understand why this is such a focus, then I don't know what to tell you. Minus 30 from everyday difficulty. We would have 60 if it wasn't for that malice. Would produce more than double of what we are producing right now. That is literally making me cringe. Okay, chromium is still needed, but we got 10 factories now working on the second line. And the factory in Brandenburg is going to be done on 8th of October, you on the 5th of October. Cool. Didn't I unpause it? I thought I did. I thought I did, but I probably didn't. Anyway, I think this is a good episode number 2. I'm gonna end it here. We've rushed through a couple of months, got some of our first focuses, got the plan for recruitment going, which is good. We even have our 2 new divisions of the 1910 Infantry Division, and I think these are going to be last. And the next episode we are going to redesign this model to 1911 Infantry Division, which is going to have something extra. What extra? We'll have to decide, but we'll do that. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next episode.